It starts with something ordinary. A plate of meat, a slice of fish, a meal shared at a table. But inside that food, hidden in the muscle of an animal, a parasite may be waiting. Once swallowed, it settles into the human intestine. There it slowly grows into a long, flat ribbon, sometimes several meters in length. This is a tapeworm. Tapeworms are parasitic worms called cestodes. Unlike roundworms, they are flat and segmented, like a long strip made of many repeating pieces. The front end, called the scolex, acts like a head, with hooks or suckers that attach to the wall of the intestine. Behind it, hundreds or thousands of segments, called proglottids, grow in a chain. Common human tapeworms include species that come from beef, pork, and fish. Taenia saginata is the beef tapeworm. Taenia solium is the pork tapeworm. Others can come from freshwater fish or other animals. Their life cycle is a story of two hosts. It begins in the human gut, where adult tapeworms live and produce eggs. Eggs are contained in mature segments that break off from the tail of the worm and leave the body in stool. If human feces contaminate the environment, fields, water, or feed, those eggs can be eaten by animals such as cattle or pigs. Inside these animals, the eggs hatch into larvae, which then penetrate the intestinal wall and travel through the bloodstream. They settle in muscles and form cysts, small, fluid-filled sacs containing the immature form of the tapeworm. When humans eat raw or undercooked meat from these infected animals, the cysts survive cooking. In the human's small intestine, the larvae emerge from the cysts, attach to the gut wall, and begin to grow into adult tapeworms. From there, the cycle can repeat. In many people, tapeworms in the intestines cause no symptoms at all. They live quietly, feeding on nutrients from the gut contents, shedding segments and eggs over time. When symptoms do appear, they can be subtle. Some people experience abdominal discomfort, nausea, or changes in appetite. Others notice weight loss, diarrhea, or constipation. One of the most striking signs is the appearance of tapeworm segments in stool or on underwear. These segments can look like small, flat, white pieces, sometimes described as resembling grains of rice. For many species, infection with the adult worm in the intestine is uncomfortable and unsettling, but not usually life-threatening. However, some tapeworms have a more dangerous side. The pork tapeworm, Taenia solium, can cause two very different kinds of infection. When a person eats undercooked pork containing cysts, they develop an adult worm in the intestine. This is called taeniasis. But if a person swallows the eggs instead of cysts, often through food or water contaminated with human feces, they can become an accidental intermediate host. In this case, larvae hatch in the human intestine, penetrate the wall, and travel to other parts of the body, forming cysts in organs and tissues. When these cysts form in muscles or under the skin, they can cause lumps and discomfort. When they form in the brain, the condition is called neurocysticercosis. It can cause seizures, headaches, and other serious neurological problems. This difference between having the adult worm in the gut and having larval cysts in tissues is one reason tapeworms are both fascinating and frightening. How do people become infected in the first place? The main risk factor is eating raw or undercooked meat or fish that contains tapeworm cysts. Beef, pork, and freshwater fish are common sources, especially where meat inspection is limited or traditional dishes use raw or lightly cooked meat. Poor hygiene and sanitation play a key role, especially for infections involving eggs. If human feces containing tapeworm eggs contaminate soil, water, or food, people and animals can ingest those eggs without realizing it. A person who has an intestinal tapeworm and does not wash their hands thoroughly after using the toilet can also contaminate food they prepare for others. Diagnosing tapeworm infection usually involves examining stool samples under a microscope to look for eggs or segments. Sometimes, specific features of the segments can suggest which tapeworm species is present. The good news is that adult tapeworms can be treated. Antiparasitic medications taken by mouth can kill the worm and allow the body to pass it out over time. Treating tissue infections like neurocysticercosis is more complex and may involve antiparasitic drugs, anti-inflammatory medicines, and treatment for seizures under medical supervision. As with many parasites, prevention focuses on breaking the life cycle. Cooking meat and fish thoroughly is one of the most important steps. Using a food thermometer, avoiding raw or undercooked beef and pork, and properly cooking freshwater fish all reduce the risk of ingesting cysts. Good hygiene matters too. Washing hands with soap and water after using the toilet, before preparing food, and before eating helps prevent the spread of eggs. Washing fruits and vegetables, especially in areas where fields may be fertilized with untreated human waste, can also reduce risk. On a larger scale, proper sewage treatment, keeping livestock away from human feces, and meat inspection systems help protect entire communities. Tapeworms capture our imagination because they challenge our sense of what belongs inside us. The thought of a many-meter-long worm living unnoticed in the intestines is unsettling. Yet they also reveal how tightly connected our health is to food, animals, and sanitation. Every meal has a history of how the animal lived, what it ate, and how the meat was handled and cooked. By understanding how tapeworms move between hosts, from eggs to larvae to adult worms, we gain more than just a cautionary tale. We gain the knowledge to keep our food safer and our bodies free from these ribbon-like passengers. In the next episode, we'll leave the inside of the gut and move outward to parasites that don't live deep within, but on our skin and hair, turning the surface of the body into their world.